En 10 minutos vamos a empezar. La cantidad de gente superó la expectativa que teníamos, o por lo menos de los preinscriptos, para ofrecer un workshop proyectual que en este momento está ya en realización, y auspiciado por las empresas Tecnal y Hunter Douglas, llamado Hábitat más Espacio Alfa. Y mañana los mismos conferencistas hacen una presentación y conferencia en la Sociedad Central de Arquitectos, en la sede de Montevideo, el 900. Tanto la muestra como el workshop y las conferencias se centran en las teorías proyectuales del Atelier Bow Wow y las investigaciones desarrolladas por Sakaguchi en su laboratorio de la Universidad Shinshu de Nagano. Ambas teorías abordan el tema de habitar, indagando acerca de cómo habitamos, cómo vivimos e imaginamos los espacios que denominamos tradicionalmente casas. Quiero nombrar, ya que ha sido mencionado, que la coorganización de este evento junto con la Universidad de Palermo es de CreaLab. CreaLab es un colectivo de investigación en medios, arquitectura y diseño dedicado al desarrollo de nuevas perspectivas sobre temas críticos de 3 megalópolis, Buenos Aires, Madrid y Tokio, con sede en las 3 ciudades y centradas una por año. CreaLab reúne en ella arquitectos, editores, diseñadores y profesionales de los medios de comunicación de los 3 países en una relación de interdisciplina creativa para explorar una selección de temas que al finalizar cada año serán editados. Presento a los conferencistas en el orden con que van a dar la conferencia. La inicia el estudio Bow Wow. La conferencia está a cargo de Yoshiharu Tsukamoto, titular socio del Atelier Bow Wow, que es una oficina de arquitectura fundada en Tokio en el año 1992, junto con Kajima Momoyo. ¿Dónde está Kajima? Momoyo. Bueno, la risa debe ser porque no debe ser Momoyo. Bueno, Momoyo. Momoyo, ¿qué?
En porteño.
Momoyo. El estudio es conocido en el mundo entero por su arquitectura doméstica y cultural y su investigación que explora las condiciones urbanas de la microarquitectura contemporánea. Nació en la prefectura de Kanagawa en 1965. Estudió arquitectura en el Instituto Tecnológico de Tokio, donde se graduó en el año 1987. Tsukamoto viajó a París para ser un estudiante invitado a la École de Arquitectura de Belleville, y a partir del año 1987-88 y en 1994 completó un programa de doctorado en ingeniería en la Universidad de Tokio. En el año 2000 Tsukamoto se convirtió en profesor asociado de esa casa de estudios y entre los años 2003 y 2007 fue profesor visitante asociado en el Departamento de Arquitectura de la Universidad de Harvard. También en el año 2007 y nuevamente en el año 2008 fue profesor visitante asociado en la Universidad de California. Y en segundo término, aviso ya que entre la conferencia de Bow Wow y la segunda va a haber un break de 10 minutos. Y esto atento a que tenemos una estrella de traductor, que es el arquitecto Alfonso Corona Martínez, que por un tema de traducción hubo un reemplazo últimamente y él se ha ofrecido gentilmente, pero pidió un poco de descanso. La segunda de las conferencias está a cargo de, yo pido que no se rían, Taku Sakauchi. Taku nació en Tokio en el año 1959, es socio titular de OFDA, es una oficina de arquitectura fundada en Tokio en el año 1998. El arquitecto Sakaguchi es considerado una referencia en el campo de la investigación de la métrica arquitectónica y la relación de la arquitectura con el cuerpo humano. Su tarea como investigador la realiza en su laboratorio de la Universidad de Shinshu de Nagano y a partir del año 2011 es profesor en la Universidad de Ciencias de Tokio. Bueno, agradeciendo la presencia de los conferencistas y de todos los que de un modo u otro han colaborado para que esto sea posible, yo les pido, si es posible, un fuerte aplauso a nuestros invitados.
Thank you very much, Professor Silvestre. Yeah? It's a great pleasure to be here to talk to you about our work, Bow Wow. And so the time is limited, so we have to start immediately. And so the title of the lecture is Architectural Behaviorology. This is behaviorology is a title which we gave to our publication, and it's describe our concept of designing architecture. And behaviorology investigates 3 different types of behavior inside of the building, around the building. The first is nature, natural elements like light and wind and heat and humidity. They behave based on the natural principles. Is it okay, my talk? It's too fast? Yes. Okay, thank you. And then second is human behavior, of course. People behave in the building. And the third one is building behavior. It sounds strange because building doesn't move. But if you take 100 years of time scale, you can observe the behavior of the building in the city, because building is regenerating one by one, time after time, but the time scale is much longer than our time scale of human beings. And then from this point of view, behavior also always incorporate the sense of time scale in each specific behavior. Like, for example, in 1 hour, probably the room temperature will increase easily with such big audience. And then this is a very short time scale of this behavior can be observed in short time scale. But, for example, if you want to see the typhoon, which is also big behavior of the nature, especially in Eastern Asian country, you have to wait for a year to observe it. And then the people's behavior and natural behavior synchronize in one place, in one moment. So, for example, cherry blossom is quite delightful moment for Japanese people to go out from the house to enjoy drinking and eating on appreciating the cherry blossoming. And I visited Copenhagen last summer, and I found people are sitting down along the balustrade of stone bridge, which is warmed by sun. So there are 2 sidewalks on this bridge, but only this side gather people because of this warmth stored in the stone balustrade. If you go to China, I strongly recommend to go to Tiandan Park in the morning. So you will see so many variety of people's behavior, which exercise their own special methodology. So, for example, you see so many. The park is occupied by series of trees in grid. So you have 1 and 2 and 3, 2 diagonal and 1 straight perspective in this grid of trees. And then you see small people 100 meters away from you who is doing the tai chi or playing with sword or dancing together as a group, or for example, the old lady who is sitting on the leaning on the old tree with a strange shape. She's massaging her shoulder by this protrusion of tree. So you can observe so many different type of behavior of the people. Do you have a pointer? So human behavior also, if you want to see, but this is daily behavior, but if you want to see the more ritual or behavior, like ceremony or annual ceremony, you need 1 year to observe it. Or the social behavior of the people, like working from Monday to Friday and have a rest in the weekend, you need 1 week to observe. So the behavior is always up to the time scale you apply. And this is quite important to think about behavior and architecture together, because thinking behavior can bring the sense of time into one place and synchronize them into one physical entity. And this is a power of architecture, and which is something forgotten during 20th century. So I really like to bring back the sense of time into architecture again in the 21st century. So this is another example of very rich behavior of the space. I've been in India and discovered this house in Nandegaon. It was 5 p.m. in summer, and I found this old man flying in the balcony, and I was surprised, but this one? Okay. Yeah. But actually he was sitting on the suspended table and reading a book. So I say hello to him, and approaching to the veranda space, and found this space extremely rich because there are nice breeze and shadow and the sound of the neighbors and drying clothes, and of course the man sitting on the suspended tables. So many different types of behavior are gathered in one place, and it's very harmonious. So I found this type of space is extremely interesting. And this generosity of space in terms of bringing different behavior into one space are somehow forgotten during 20th century in the process of the modernization, especially in Japanese city. So I really like to bring back this type of quality into architecture again. So one of the reflections is Pony Garden, which we designed for a woman who is at the age of 55 or 56 at that moment. So she came to us with very interesting scenario that she wants to make a house with us, living with pony after her retirement. And so she needs to prepare her rest of life during at that moment, because after retirement she can't make another mortgage. So she she came us, and we start talk about the house. But I found it's very difficult because the budget was extremely modest. And then, but the scenario was very interesting. So I finally said to her that I can't make your house, but I can make the garden for pony. And then you probably can sleep at the corner of the garden of pony. And she said, yes, it's the best way. So she totally agreed with this scenario, and then we designed this house, which is mostly exterior space. It's just loggia, and the only attic space is interior space. So this is a plan of the pony garden. We set firstly the paddock for pony, and we borrowed this corner from pony to let people live in. And I always said to her that you can't have a glass window with glass because it's expensive. You don't have enough money to make it. So you have only wooden shutter, and your living space is totally open to outside. And she said, yes, it's okay. And so this ground floor level is loggia, it's exterior space. And you walk up and you go to the attic space, it is interior. So when it is extremely cold, they can escape into attic space. And then you can dine with pony, or you can feed pony from inside of the house. So it is like this. And so the floor there is floor heating, and so you can also live in winter in this house, in this condition. And this is a view. Oh, there are two heads. Huh? Okay, thank you. This is the attic space. So this is a window to watch down the room for pony, where pony is living there. Then I like to show one of the research projects we've done in my laboratory. It's about windows. It was published as a book titled Windowscape. It's a collection of many different types of windows from all over the world. We traveled 125 cities in 3 years with students in my school, Tokyo Tech. And we did the measurement and sketch and took photograph and made interviews to the inhabitants. Window is the most, important, I think the best, it's the most, it's gathering so many different type of behavior in the building. It's gather light and wind and people to behave. So if you want to see the behavior in the building, it's better to focus on window. So we did the comparative, we did the typology, and we found several concepts from these examples. This is a window from India. We call it window in the wind. So this stone filter, stone screen, curved by hand. It's 7 centimeters width. It's create very nice breeze by itself because of its profile, by its profile. So the hot air goes through this short section of the stone, and it comes through the shadow in the stone, and then it became a little bit cooler than the outside air. So it's a kind of self-generating ventilation system. And this is a seating window. It's from Turkey. In Turkey, people push out the window and install sofa and sit on it in the atmosphere of the light from the window. This is another window which is for sitting, but also for working in Sydney. You can see this type of very open window, which is part of the life of surfer. And I like this example because it's totally utilize all the space of the width of the shop by meaningful elements. So she's working on the windowsill, and it's create a kind of sitting space which bridges inside and outside. This is window in the window. This is from Procida in Italy. It's a house for fishermen, and this facade is facing to the ocean. So fishermen can recognize this big opening also from the ocean on the boat. And then another type of window which fits to the life are integrated within this window. So 2 different type of windows, one for long distance to the fishermen on the ocean, and the other window, small window which fits to the life, are integrated in one facade. This is working window from Istanbul. The window becomes working place where people can see the freshness of the products. And window also repeat itself along the street and create a streetscape. And one of the reflection of this type of investigation is this project this is a hotel in Amsterdam. Only this facade was newly designed because it is facing to the courtyard, and it's a collection of genealogy of windows in Amsterdam. So we have 4 different generations of windows in one facade to make a kind of more intimate feeling to the hotel space. And another reflection is in this project, Revrière. This is social housing in Paris, in 17th arrondissement. I like very much the repetition of French windows in Paris because it has redundancy rather than flexibility. You can say, I'm living with this window, but you can also say, probably I'm living in these 2 windows and this big window. Or you can say I'm occupying 4 windows, or I have 8 all windows. So it's the interior coordination, the spatial organization is totally detached from the repetition of the window which is on the facade. And the project is happening along this cemetery. This is the periphery of Paris, And this is Cimetière de Batignolles, and there is a 24 meters wide, 500 meters long street, which was almost depopulated. There is no intersection, no cafe, no shops. And it's a part of the reorganization of Porte Pouchet, which is not known well, also among Parisians. So city government wants to reorganize this Porte Pouchet as new sub-center. And one of the tower, which was built in the 60s for social housing, are going to demolish. It has 140 housing units, so government have to replace these 140 houses into new buildings. They found this long street interesting because they are too wide for no traffic. So they divide this street into two, which is 12 meters in depth but 5 meters long. And they invited 7 architects, 5 from France and 1 from Japan and 1 from Switzerland, to design together the street of social housing. This is a view of the street next to the cemetery. It has a beautiful alley of platanas tree. And our final design is based on this sketch. We have to make 20 housing units in one property. This is the obligation, requirement from the clients. And then we made this very compact slab-like volume, setting back from the main street, from the street, creating an open space in front of it, and also create a gap space between next buildings. And we inserted 2 small house, almost like a detached house, into this series of social housing. So this gives a variety of the volume and the way of living. So we found it's a very interesting strategy. So this is a model. So the house is, main body of the building housing is here, but we also have tiny volumes. And we are obliged to put fence along the street. So we try to enlarge it on the facade of these tiny buildings to create a vertical garden. So this is rendering, showing the repetition of the French window and also repetition of different size of balconies, which mystify the unit of family. So from outside, you can't see the family unit, which is always obvious in modern housing. So this is a view between balcony to balcony. We call it vertical neighborhood, so you can communicate with neighbors without going out from your house. And this is the result. It's built like this. We don't have green on the fence at this moment. So this is a very simple repetition of French windows. There are 108 windows for 18 houses, and we don't know how many windows one family owns from outside. And we also have this type of loggia space on the ground level for the community, facing to this open space for children's playground. So this is some details of the balcony. Oh, this is the backside of the backside facade from cemetery. It was difficult to make big opening to the facade because of the restriction about the window in France. So this is called it the loggia. We insisted to have bench next to the entrance in this loggia space. We fought with the clients, but finally we won. We get it. So the interior is very Osmanian. So the simple room with repetition of French windows. So this is one of the corners. You can see Sacré-Cœur. So this is one tiny one, but this with 5 windows. And another one, another corner. Yeah, this is the relationship between living room and kitchen. The interior space is very much standardized, so we concentrated on making very nice rooms, like nice bread. Yeah? So this is a vertical neighborhood. So you see different type of balconies from different windows, so you can communicate with neighbors. Okay, I like to go to show some projects in smaller scale and more about the public space. And this is white limousine yatai realized in the framework of art exhibition. We are asked to connect different art venues in this big art binary happening in the landscape of the whole region. And we propose this yatai, who is a food store in Japan. And so this is the normal size of the yatai. It's a food store in Tokyo. You can dine or drink here and talking with the owner, or you can easily talk with someone else, someone other who you don't know. But it's this relationship between peoples are very frank and very friendly. So I like very much the experience of yatai, but it's very badly estimated because of its. People think it's not clean. So it is estimated as a low-class food service, but the experience is very delightful. So I really like to change the notion of this food store, yatai, by stretching it into 10 meters long, like a limousine car. So this is a model, and we made a kind of this building with steel beam, truss beam with wheel, and this is there is no motor, so you have to push. And since it is 10 meters long, it always produces traffic jam. It's very troublesome, but people start laughing when they recognize it as stretched food store. And we visited different venues and participated into local festival like this. This is one of the things we participated into the local festival, and people know how to behave in this type of space. So they are joking to the students who are worked with us, but it's and we serve only white meals and transparent green meals, which reminds very heavy snow in this area. So in night, there are many people gather to start singing, and we are always criticized by neighbors. Yeah. Okay. And then, we call this type of work micro public space. So it's a kind of by introducing this type of furniture or mobile structure, we stimulate the public space. We stimulate the sense of practice of public space, which incorporated in every human being. And so we call this micro public space or public space with an enclosure. So it is not the space which is defined by enclosure, but which is defined by the collectivity of the collective behaviors among people. And we developed this type of work, dozen projects in different places in the world. And then recently we had another opportunity to design the BMW Guggenheim Lab in New York, which is a kind of a development of our idea of micro public space. Micro public space is totally dependent on time, so it's time-based performance space. And in this project, we also developed this idea by introducing this type of structure in the city. So we always imagine city loggia, which is very typical in Mediterranean country, and which is very generous for people, and there's no fixed function. You can do wedding, you can do juridic meeting, you can just come alone to enjoy the landscape from the window. So this is totally open space for community. So we like to introduce this type of space in the framework in the city, today's city, used in the framework of BMW Guggenheim Lab. BMW Guggenheim Lab is a kind of a traveling urban think tank which think about urban issue in different cities. So now it's traveling to Berlin, and after Berlin it goes to Mumbai. So the structure is traveling structure, so it must be collapsible and easily buildable. And originally the requirement from Guggenheim were very complex. They wanted a workshop space, exhibition space, a cafe space, office space, storage, and washroom, and etc., etc. So they assumed 500 square meter for this facility, and plus open space like a courtyard or roofed shaded space. But we couldn't find, so this is an initial scheme which we proposed on imagining the loggia in the city with a big courtyard, but actually we couldn't find the appropriate venue which fits to the idea of curators. And finally we found this site which is in between buildings, a kind of leftover space in the city. And but this site was interesting because it connects two streets. One is Houston Street, which is here, and another is First Street, this side. And they have community garden behind these buildings. So it could be a new proposal to also the renovation of this community garden. So we work together with with local people. But in order to put all the supposed activity in this space, which is 1/3 of expected surface, it has only 170. So in order to do that, we proposed curators to change to think about the theater rather than art exhibition space. So we propose them to think about this urban lab, Guggenheim Lab, as 10 weeks long lasting theater play. And they are happy with this idea, and we propose this traveling fly loft in different cities. So we cut out the stage and insert it into the vacant space in the city. So it's only fly loft, which is above space of the stage, which has spent so many instruments like lighting and screens and beamers, projectors, and audio systems, and storage of furniture and big stage steps. And we made this structure by CFRP, carbon fiber reinforced plastic, which is extremely light and strong. It's 1/6 of the weight with same performance as steel. So the program now became totally up to the time schedule. So curators started to make a time schedule to change the ground level by bring many different type of instruments down from the upper level and transform the stage on the ground level. So this is a program they made following the timeline. It gives a very strong structure for programming also. And this is a night view of the Guggenheim Lab, which is inserted in between buildings. So ground level is totally vacant, and many instruments above you, and you can pass through. It's totally free, admission free. You can jump into the discussion during the workshop, talking about the comfort. They are talking about confronting comfort. This is a theme. So this is a view from different mode. The one is workshop with tables and chairs, and another is a game produced by invited thinkers in New York for this workshop, for this Guggenheim Lab. This is the scene of a lecture with many chairs and film viewing position and game. Yes. So this is it's going to open again in June, on June 13. June 13 in Berlin, and I'm very excited to see the difference between New York and Berlin, because the space is totally up to the character of the people who participate into this space. And another project is Miyashita Park is the park in the middle of the city, just next to the railway track, and it's near the Shibuya station. Shibuya is one of the most animated commercial centers in Tokyo. And this is a view of the site in 1944, when the government cleared up this area for avoiding the extension of fire from this area to the railway track. It was the moment of the war, so government afraid of the extension of fire. And this framework was established. This work was brought by Nike Japan, and they tried to renovate this park, which is built 1964, with a collaborating with local municipality, and so it's a collaboration between private and public. It's a donation project, but in the framework of naming rights. So Nike Japan gets the naming rights and invest money to renovate the park. It's very new framework for making public space. So I was very interested in this project because in 20th century we didn't have this type of example. We had several nice, very important public space realized by the design of architects. The first one is Peace Center in Hiroshima, which was built in the framework of public initiative with public money. And another one is Daikanyama Hillside Terrace, which is designed by Maki. It's a private money and private initiative. But Maki constantly designs series of buildings along the street, and the typology is always open at the ground level for public by inserting the small shops and having rental apartment on upper floor. And then, so the Miyashita Park could be a collaboration between private money and public authority and local authority. And this is a condition of Miyashita Park before the project. It's it had too much grown vegetation. It's dark, you can't see from outside, so it was not the place for real public. And some part of the park were inhabited by homeless people. And it took so long time, it took almost 2 years to make a kind of, to find the balancing point between two parties. One is local municipality and another is global enterprise, Nike Japan. They have very different characteristics and their intentions are very different. So it was very hard to find the meeting point between them. And then in this 1-2 years, before fixing everything, some information leaked to the people who against this park, and then we had several protestations by people. The one is organized by the NPO who support homeless people, and another is the protestation from a group of artists, young artists, who says to keep the light for people's light for public space. They say this project is privatization of the public space. But actually, they misunderstood because we couldn't open the project until two parties alive reach the agreement for everything. So it was very frustrating for us. But anyway, we solved these problems. Not problem, but we deal. The local government dealt with these protestation by people, and then finally we executed this project. The park is built on the rooftop of the garage, which is built in '64 in the time of the Olympic Games in Tokyo. And now the Tsukamoto trees originally planted on the park, on the rooftop, became 20 meters high. It's very big tree today. And it's a very rare green area inside of such commercial district. So we keep all the green on the park, and we also extended park area on the structure, 1.5 meters on both sides. we keep this futsal court, and we newly built skateboard park and climbing wall. And we renovated, this is climbing wall. We renovated changing room and toilet by landscaping. So this is a maquette, models. Actually, this park was one of the examples in Made in Tokyo, which was published in 2001. It's a collection of interesting hybrid buildings in Tokyo. And this is a view of the park today. So everything is built in keeping these big trees. So this is the intersection part. We inserted this new staircase to bring people from the crossing to the central part of the park. And this is a new facade of the changing room with this black glass wall. Today, many young people exercise dancing. This is a climbing wall. This is a skateboard park. Skateboard park, all the shapes are defined by paying respect on the existing position of the Tserkova trees. So it gives the light, the shadow on the skateboard area. This is very rare, in fact, in night. So this is a dancing scene. So it's a project which brings potential users in this city into this park and activate this park again in a very healthy way. And so I think now it gathers so many different type of people, not only athletes, also the people who just sit on the bench, sleeping, and okay. And there's also important to produce a relationship between viewers and performers. So there are performers who enjoy the climbing the wall, but at the same time there's people who enjoy watching them. So, but we still have the homeless people on the lower level. We ask them to move from upper level to lower level, and anyway kept them in the park. And this is, I think it is not the best solution, but I think it's a possible solution today in our society. Okay, the last project is Energy Environmental Innovation Center in building in Tokyo Tech in my school. This is I worked for this project personally as one of the faculty member of my school. It's a very experimental building which tries to be self-sufficient and trying to reducing the carbon emission 60% from the similar type of laboratory buildings. So it's built along the railway track, and we did a very simple investigation of a building which has solar panel, photovoltaic panel, and most of them utilize leftover space like a roof or wall as a kind of a possible place to install a photovoltaic panel, solar panel. And some architects who wants to integrate solar panel design the new building elements for power generation. But I think this is not good because this type of technology advanced so fast. So in 5 years, we need to replace this solar panel into new one, which is more effective So we decided to design a whole building with the standard panel of the standard solar panel, which is available in the market. Yeah, and the building needs this kind of heavy-duty experimental laboratory. So we have to also think about the structure. And it's also part of the new energy grid in our campus. So it shouldn't be damaged by the earthquake. So this is a requirement from the school. But we have to also think about how we can integrate this new type of buildings into the city landscape. The site is here. It's this very narrow site it's very strange shape, like triangular shape. So this is we did a kind of we tried to imagine to bring this volume into the site. So we have many different type of technology to reduce the carbon emission, and so there is a graph here. The contribution of solar panel is only 14% among 60. Another 46% were achieved by the saving energy method of the laboratory equipment. And so by this intervention, innovation of the experimental instruments, we could achieve the self-sufficient building in terms of energy, also in this type of laboratory building. And this is a very big challenge because even the specialist, the researcher who specialized on this kind of solar panel, doubted that if they can really achieve the self-sufficient energy self-sufficient building. But so this building really breaks through this doubt to show the performance. This is a very important mission of this building. So, yes, okay, I have to go. So we invented, we designed this envelope, which is made of solar panel as an independent element of the building, main element of the building. So, previous example, which utilize solar panel, they give priority to the building and second priority to the solar panel. But in this building, solar panel has a first priority in its appearance as building, and then building itself, height, is hidden behind this envelope. And it also reminds this type of rural installations to dry the the rices. Huh? We call inagake, and it's very similar because they share the principle to be dried out under the sunshine. So we found that the solar panel should be also treated as a kind of agricultural product. And we also produced this space between the solar panel envelope and the main building, this kind of a very vertical space, which is 30 meters high and 100 meters long, which reminded me kind of the experience of Gothic church. So we call this space solar cathedral. And the section has two different type of activities. One is a laboratory and another is study space. So it's sandwiches each other. And for study space, we need more light from outside. So the first, this envelope behave like this to bring the light into the space. But for the laboratory space, it's shut down to get more sunlight on the solar panel. This is a model. So building is smaller than the solar panel envelope. Another view. And the backside is dominated by grid, which has a balcony for service. So you can put any laboratory experimental instruments on this balcony. And I didn't say that. This bracing system is quite unique because it's react to it is called unbound brace. It's react to the earthquake, and before giving the big impact on the main structure, it's anyway collapse and release the power of seismic energy. Okay, so and then the view of the building from the ground. So you see the sea of houses. They don't still have solar panel on the rooftop, but I think in the future they will have more and more. So today it is very outstanding, but in the future it will be integrated into the landscape. So, but this is also important to think about the landscape made by solar panel. This is because it's very black and strong. It's a very industrial material. So how to deal with this industrial material? This is also a very important issue for architectural design. And then this is a roof. Roof is fully covered by solar panel. And then we found the system it's a very simple, this part, it's let light go in, and it is a louver type, and this is a wall type. And behind this part, there are study space, and behind this, there are laboratory space for experiment. And so we just shifted the joint little by little, and to create a kind of it gives a soft impression to the building. And we had every chamber duct between envelope and building. This is western side. It's the north side. And at east end, the solar panel becomes independent structure. So this is a solar cathedral. This is which is the entrance for this building. So the solar envelope is made of steel frame and catwalk, and every panels are accessible from the building. So in any moment we can replace some panels into new ones. Yeah, this is a view between building and between envelope and building. So you see this duct is lying vertically from laboratory space to the rooftop, and on the rooftop we have detoxing equipment. So this is entrance. This is a very rough building. So yeah, most of the budget are eaten by solar panel. So with very limited budget, we designed this kind of entrance. But we introduced the seating area space along the long windows, and to give people opportunity to sit along the windows. This is a multi-purpose space on the ground level, and this is one of the corridor on the 5th level. The light side is clean room. And this is a space for students. So here there is no boundary, no partition between laboratory. So students share one big space. So this is a view from some part of the campus. You can see the relationship between railway track and the building. So this is also we can say that this building also work with the behavior of the sun, and it's this behavior of sun has been strongly translated into some shape or some element of the building and becomes a main element of the building. And this, I think, this is we will have this type of building more in the future, because now we experienced a big earthquake last year, and the energy generation became a big social issue today. So we couldn't probably we can't produce more nuclear power plants, so we have to anyway find another way to generate energy. And I think that this is also part of behaviorology. Thank you very much.